At the start of his NFL career, Kadarius Toney was looked at as a player that could be a special weapon in the league. But his antics quickly turned him into a player that we say, whatever happened to that guy? And after what happened to Kadarius Toney with the Chiefs recently, we're starting to see what we would call a bad pattern for Mr. Toney. Kadarius is currently a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. And although you may not even know that because he didn't play a lot this year, he's on the team. And when he's not there, they seem to do better. Toney was drafted by the Giants with the 20th overall pick in 2021. Coming out of Florida, Toney looked like a potential great gadget player. Even though he played quarterback in high school, he transitioned to wide receiver at Florida and played all over the field, including in the slot and the backfield. He was just an insanely versatile guy that just had the ability to do whatever he needed to do. And then Toney was traded to the Kansas City Chiefs during the 2022 season. And it looked like a slam dunk for the Chiefs because he would give them a good year and making one of the biggest plays in the Super Bowl that would actually help them beat the Eagles. But after that is where things started to unravel a bit. With the lack of the Chiefs having a quote-unquote true number one receiver this season, Toney was looked at as a guy who needed to step up and be that playmaker for the Chiefs. But not only did Toney not live up to that playmaker role, he made countless mistakes that would actually cost his team time and time again, and ultimately led to losses. And after a game in December that a pass that he just couldn't catch led to an interception, the Chiefs had enough and put him on the injury report, and he has not played since. But leading up to the game against the Ravens, he was a full participant in practice and was actually expected to play in the AFC Championship game. But then the Chiefs would swiftly announce Toney would be out of the game due to injury and personal reasons. And we all know how this goes. This went viral on social media and everyone made memes about it. Because the narrative started to become that the Chiefs were holding him out on that injury because he hurts the team every time he plays. So it's almost an addition by subtraction. And then just before the game, Toney decided that this would be a good idea and went on IG Live to let everyone know his thoughts on them saying he was injured.
Man, that shit cap. I'm not hurt. Oh God, not hurt. None of that. It go from hip to ankle to this to that.
And these comments that Toney made are very damaging, as the league has been looking to crack down on teams doing fake injuries. And under the NFL discipline, the league can fine teams a minimum of $300,000 for the club and a minimum of $100,000 for the head coach if they lie on the injury report. It can also lead to suspensions and forfeiting draft picks. So naturally, after this went viral, the media had to ask Andy Reid, what is going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously he's been on the injury report. That's not made up by any means, but he's been working through some things and he'll be back out there.
And this is what you would call the straw that broke the camel's back. This is likely the final hoorah for Kansas City and Kadarius Toney's relationship. But what's interesting, this has happened before. At the beginning of 2022, Toney started the season with a hamstring injury. Then he would play 2 games while he was injured, not looking very good, and then he would end up injuring that same hamstring again. While rehabbing, Toney would quote-unquote reportedly injure his other hamstring. And before the Giants' Week 8 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks, the Giants decided to keep Toney on the injury report and ultimately trading him after that Week 8 matchup. And Toney responded to this news on Twitter saying, "That joke would have been funny if I was actually still hurt. Irrelevant people don't get updates." So now there's 2 instances where the team put him on the injury report and he denied being injured. And Toney is no stranger to off-the-field issues. Really, the guy has been an absolute hassle for teams, and his productivity on the field is not even close to worth it, especially for a top-tier organization like the Chiefs. I really don't think he's going to be on the Chiefs next year, and he may not be in the league. I mean, if you really look at it this way, the Giants and the Chiefs, primarily the Chiefs, were doing him a solid. Instead of having a quote-unquote healthy scratch or something along those lines, making him look silly on the sidelines, they said he was injured so he can get off a little scot-free and also not hurting his value so he can go to a different team in the offseason. But now that it's public record, he wasn't actually hurt. He's going to hurt the Chiefs because they're probably going to get fined. He's going to hurt Andy Reid because he's probably going to get fined. And he hurt his value on a different team because he can't stay on the field because he drops too many balls. That's it, y'all. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, and obviously subscribe. And the most important thing, forward this to a friend or family member. If you like it, odds are they will too. And until the next video, talk to you guys soon.